What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. It's Fozzy here. It's Monday, so we're back again with some custom tactics. Now, today we're going to be taking a look at the 4-3-3 again. This is the 5th variant. I think it's been a few weeks now since we covered it. Went back to it this week just to give it a try out. You know, it's been, for me, up until this point, it had been the best formation in the game this year in regards to like just reliability and consistency and stuff. So I thought, why not go back and try it? These are the updated tactics I have for it. I'm not too sure what we're going to try this week. I'm tempted to try the 5-2-1-2 again with some different settings, but if there's anything you guys want to see particularly, let me know in the comments down below and then I'll give it a try and figure out what's best. But this week, it's the 4-3-3. So if you enjoy it, please leave a like rating on the video. It's greatly appreciated and helps me out with the content, helps the algorithm and all that sweet stuff. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We just hit the 500 sub mark and now we're aiming for 1,000 for the YouTube partner program, so that'd be fantastic if you could. And let's jump into the video. So custom tactics. Here we are. I think it's going to be a very short video today actually to run through this. Press after possession loss, 40 width, 70 depth. Pretty damn consistent if you're watching the videos, I'll be honest. I love the press after possession loss right now. High depth is the thing. It just works well. Width 40. I've always played below 50 this year. I play even like tighter width when I've got 3 centre backs, but I think 40 works well for a 4 at the back system, given you do have a centre mid as well, or a defensive midfielder as well. The 40 width stays consistent on the offense. 4 players in box, 1 corners, free kicks, fast build up, and forward runs, which hasn't been my favourite this year. But I've found in some formations and some ways you want to play, it does work quite well, especially after recent patches. They've definitely improved it. You can run direct passing, which has been my favourite all year, but after this, I want forward runs, and I found it quite useful. So, just if you're not enjoying forward runs, try the direct passing and see how it works out. The system will still work really well. How we're lining up. So, I actually packed Spinazzola from the party bag, which I'm really happy about. I mean, I could sell the one I had and found I got a first owner version. Basically, very simple back four. I will say it's nice to have a bullish defender and then a faster one. That's the same for all 4 of the back systems. I find this year you want someone big. For the longest time, it had been Koulibaly for me, but this Luis Felipe SPC came out, so I decided to try him out. And then there's the Ibanez. That's what you want, and then you want 2 very good fullbacks, I'd say, at this point in the game. You want high tier fullbacks. Darmian is medium attacking, high defensive, so he's a little bit more defensive, and Spinazzola with a high height allows him to attack. If Darmian was another high height, for example, it would actually probably work better. He's just the right back from Serie A I'm using for links right now, but I do plan on changing the team around a little bit this week. I want to get that showdown to Paul into the team. I want to get Modric back in the team, so we'll see what I can work out there. And we have Verratti as a CDM, and I'll say here, you only need 1 defensive midfielder in the system. You're not going to be playing one of your centre mids as like a stay back or anything like that. You want 1 core CDM. I'm using Verratti purely for the strong link to Neymar. Those 2 are going to come out of the team this week for the rebuild. That's the only reason he was there. I would say I like that headliner Zakaria there. I use the winter wildcard Modric there for absolutely ages as a treat. You can play people like Kante, but I feel like you want a player who's like Verratti, like the pull card if they're medium high, like they can still play passes, or you want an all-out beast like Zakaria, or you want like a box-to-box player like Kusuma War. Honestly, that Renato Sanchez could probably play here, but maybe he'd be better at the centre mid. But that's the sort of player you want. You want a high, a medium, or a medium attacking high defensive player that can pass the ball and is more than 3-star. Like 4-star is kind of what I'd be aiming for, if I'm being honest. And that just works really well. Here, you want a box-to-box player and then a cam. I have Zaniolo, who's not really a box-to-box, but he's close to it, and he does the job. He did the job for me here. He's got the physicals. But Brahim is like the perfect sort of cam that you want playing this attacking centre mid role. They get a lot of opportunities. They can distribute the ball. They're fast, nimble on the ball, pass, everything like that. So players like him are perfect here. You want an all-out striker here, and then 2 fast wingers out wide. Now the personnel's covered, let's look at the tactics. Keepers on comes across the sweeper keeper. I've just really started to enjoy this, I'll be honest. I think this has become a preset for the goalkeepers. You can play default if you want. This again is personal preference. Keepers are very hit and miss this year. I found, especially with higher depth, that the comes for crosses on super keeper works a lot better. It definitely comes for crosses just to help with like those OP like crosses from corners, or like people doing abusive crossing mechanisms. Sometimes you can't stop them, but it can help. Sweeper keeper can be, say, personal preference. Centre backs fully stay back. Or there's nothing changed here. This is all default, as you'd expect. The full backs are both just stay back while attacking. I had tested this in overlap and just didn't get on with it. Wasn't a fan of how they actually found that the full backs were overlapping runs, but then tucking in more while defending. It was really weird. So I just kept them on run type as default, which is mixed, and then they're just on stay back. They're both on stay back because outside of Verratti, no one else is staying back in the midfield. So really, you're essentially playing a 5-5 once you get in the attacking phase. Verratti's cut past the lanes, stay back while attacking, cover centre. Normally, I would be running man mark these days on it, but with how the system is with two fullbacks, you've got one defensive midfielder and two centre mids. I want someone that's going to be cutting those past the lanes. A little bit more aggressive. The Verratti card is really nice aggression. Honestly, he was winning the ball back for me so much. If he had a bit more pace, he would still 100% be in my team. He feels much faster than the pace says because of the height and acceleration and like the dribbling stats, but you can just tell those times where he's a little bit slower. But that's what you want your CDM to be. We've discussed the personnel earlier in the video. Zaniolo is my centre mid, who is going to be essentially the box to box. So they're going to be on get forward, but they're going to stay on the edge of the box across. A really good example of this is the Husam Award card, that Wonder Wild card. I've played him in that position essentially the entire time I've had the card, and it works wonders because he can defend. And you kind of want, if you get like 70 plus defending stats, it's someone that can defend, can do a good job. Honestly, that Rodrigo de Paul showdown card that I've just got, he would be playing this sort of position. He can get forward, he's nice on the ball, he can make a pass, he can shoot. That kind of, you just want a really nice, well-rounded box-to-box player who can finish. And they're going to be on stage of the edge of box across because your other centre mid is going to be getting into the box across. And with Verratti staying back, you kind of want essentially Brahim, the right centre mid, is going to get into the box. And then if Zaniolo is also doing that, it makes a really big disconnect in the team. It allows Zaniolo to sort of float in that gap that then exists outside the box. Brahim's also on get forward. Very, very similar to the other centre mid. Essentially, they both get forward. One's into the box, one is out of the box. You can, stay on the edge of the box. You can flip which ones these are. It doesn't matter if it's the right mid or left mid, or right centre mid or left centre mid, sorry. That's kind of personal preference. But Brahim definitely is like the best example of the player you want here. And then I say Husam Awar is a really good example of who you'd want as this box-to-box centre mid. Your striker is stay forward and target man. Because he's not really a striker in this, he's technically a centre forward in this system, so he sits a little bit deeper, which helps with build-up play, especially because you don't have a cam, you got two centre mids, and then it allows for how the wingers are set up to make really nice runs in behind. So I find Martinez to be good for this. His passing isn't perfect. Really, I think until Team of the Season's out, we're not going to have a striker. Like maybe Team of the Year Lewandowski could actually be a fantastic card for this sort of thing. He's got everything he needs and a good pace, but he can pass the ball. This being said, these guys still score a lot of goals. Don't get it twisted. Martinez still scores plenty for me, but they rely a little bit more on being creative in this avenue. So they still score lots of goals, but they'll need to be able to make passes. The two wingers are stay forward, cut inside, get in behind, and get into the box across. As I'm saying, because Martinez comes that little bit deeper, he would anyway, and then when you play him target man, obviously he's that little bit deeper, and then backs into the centre backs. Then with these guys on one stay forward, they're ready for the plays, and then they're just going to be making those diagonal runs in behind constantly, and I'd say 90% of the time it just works an absolute treat. You play someone who can figure out and defend, you get that with any formation and system, but that's how it works. I will say I still prefer my 5-2-1-2 at the minute. I think that's just because I've gotten to that stage using three centre backs. It is how it is. I really like it. But the 4-3-3-5 is still a very good formation. I recommend you definitely use one of your 4 slots for it, because it's a nice, well-rounded system. You can then tailor the tactics if you want to for more defensive. Just a heads up, it doesn't matter which one you use. It doesn't matter if you have it in the ultra defensive or the ultra attacking. It'll play depending on how you set it up. These you can sort of disregard what the names are and just think of them as 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's how it is. But that's me, guys. If you did enjoy the video, please do give a thumbs up on it. It'd be greatly appreciated. It helps me out, helps the algorithm, all that good stuff. Like I said, let me know in the comments down below who you think is going to win the showdown, or get the upgrade in the showdown card. Obviously, Atletico Madrid play Man United in the Champions League on Wednesday night. It's in Madrid. Whoever wins that, the card gets a +2. If they draw, it's a +1. I'm not completing Eric Bailly because I don't really use many Prem teams. Outside like putting Werner in the team every now and then. I have plenty of players, mind you. I could build a Prem team. I kind of want Atletico Madrid to get the upgrade. I want to start using Modric more. It's a really nice box-to-box card. And I've gone with DePaul. But let me know in the comments down below who you think is going to win that. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, trying to get 1,000 subs. And thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video, and goodbye.